last meeting, and it's the steering committee that sets the date for the next one. It's irregular. So that's why we don't know.
Right, yeah, no, but yeah, so that's that one. Anything else on the Action 2020? Hey, Green Party California made it. Seeing none. The next one is the logo approvals. So in case anyone did not know, we had 2 people engaged on our Facebook page and thought the original with the 3/5 and OGP was a little busy. So we wanted to simplify it down. Again, do you want me to share my screen, or does everyone have the images in front of them? I did remember to email those. I didn't send the link to Zoom, but I did send the link.
Could you put them back up?
I can. Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have them all saved right here. There we go. And then share screen. So here is one.
Yeah.
It's the Resist Fist, red, black, and white. I guess I could switch that to green. And then our second one is the same, but without the stencil letters in the center. Again, just simpling down a little bit more. Just the Oakland Greens website and Resist. And our last one is the Latino caucus, Latina caucus flower with just Oakland Greens and our website. And we can use all 3 of them. If everybody is okay with all 3, we can use all 3 as well. Ironically, something that Brett said that was really positive is that it doesn't hurt us to change our logos every once in a while to keep things fresh.
I like number 2. I use number 2 so far as my profile page.
That one here?
No, the other one. The one you just showed, number 2.
That one?
No, the other one, the green one.
Oh, okay. The actual, just the flower.
Yeah, I use that one.
And then my only, again, note would be like, white seems to just stand out more to me, but I can change that color to something else if we wanted, or keep it yellow. I can change it to yellow like Oakland and the flower.
No.
No, you like it the way it is?
Well, I think the green stick contrasts with with Oakland and the flower, and I think that's good.
All right. So that's a positive on that one.
I will say one thing about the other 2. I personally, I'd like to see if we were going to use the first one or the second one. I like the red, but I think there should also be a part that's green. So
okay,
red and green is my mantra these days.
Okay, so I can change the Oakland Greens on the website to our Oakland Green shade. Everyone okay with that? Any arguments? I see thumbs up and everything. All right. And then for this, would you do the same thing with the stencil big OGP? Change that green as well, or keep that one white and just do the top Oakland Greens?
Just doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay. All right.
But I think it should have red and green somewhere in it.
Right. Okay, that's an easy note. And any other discussions on that one? No, let me stop sharing and I will change that to green, and we have 3 new logos. That's pretty awesome. I can close these for now. 1, 2, and 3. And next agenda is the National Green Party of the United States National Meeting Report back. And Michael has small notes for that. Yeah.
It went on for 4 days. The first 2 days were mainly workshops, but they also had an ongoing series of things about oppression and I think there was something on the general subject, the topic subject of this meeting every day, and I didn't sign on to that, but so I can't comment on it. but there was a fair amount of the workshops had revolved around different forms of oppression, different, the last one today had Laura and Aiden both spoke. So the Northern California was represented. I spoke on the first day, on Thursday. I think I've talked a little bit about the Green Socialist Organizing Project. So Howie and I did a workshop that was essentially entitled Introduction to the Green Socialist Organizing Project. And we had about 40 people, which is a good turnout. I would say that the turnout was not that great, considering it was Zoom. I don't think it was more than 60 or 70 people. There were some people who, it's hard to say because not everyone was there for all 4 days. People came and went, so it's a little hard to say how many total there was. But
maybe 100.
Jan thinks it might be as high as 100. So anyway, I think that I guess my main criticism of it was that there was very little substantive discussion of the issues of the day, especially as they relate to the party. I would hope, I would have expected more discussion about, how the party should respond in today's political climate, and that was not there. So, it was what it was. The party is alive. It's not great, not very healthy in many ways, but it's alive, and that's because between the Ponzi scheme and the growth of lesser evilism, it's a triumph that we're still alive. Oh, one other thing that was interesting. There were a fair number, considering the total number of people that visible on the thing. We're doing reasonably well with African Americans. I mean, there were a number of African American participants, and I was glad to see that. That's all.
Yes, Jan mentioned that too, that there was also some diversity in age. I wonder if one of the reasons why is just some technological problems. So I actually was definitely one of the first people to register for the national meeting and never got my link. It wasn't in my spam folder or anything. So I could watch it live on YouTube and comment. And there was about 17 of us watching the streams on the national YouTube channel. And they had that same mention too, it looks like it. And then we actually had the conversation, the same thing we talk about here, and pat myself on the back that I talk about often, is that one of the reasons they felt that we have such an issue is that we're just not very fun. Like, everybody, we're all, and I'm at the end of my fun, I'm like 57 pretty soon, I am slowly getting back to work, and work is kicking my ass. Like I was talking to my mom today. I was like, man, I'm coming home and having to take naps and shit. Like, it's fucking wearing my black ass out. And so, so one of the things was too that, we need to do more things fun. So we were talking about, board games and things, like even when we had the county party years and years ago, when it used to be just sitting and talking, but I bought my boom box and I bought dominoes and cards. I was like, oh yeah. And even that was fun. So we had that conversation. I think that is something that could definitely help us in that aspect as far as building as well. And then I agree with you also, piggyback on Mike too, that they should talk about the issues of the day. I've posted it on our Facebook page, not on the website, but on the Facebook. We are getting, Howie anyway, Hawkins is getting trashed, and the Green Party getting trashed for supporting him under the so-called political media organizations, Jimmy Dore, Secular Talk, Young Turks and stuff are really talking. Jimmy Dore's thing yesterday was about because Howie, some interview he gave, he was talking about Russiagate and how that is where, and so when we talked about that in the YouTube chat, what I read and heard was that it wasn't that he had subscribed to Russiagate, but that he actually thought of it as like a conspiracy between Trump and Putin. I think Russia wanted Trump and worked really hard to get him elected, but they weren't talking to him. They don't like him. They just think he's easy to manipulate, and they're right. Right? As my one brother says, like, all you got to do is like please him. You know, if I can suck his dick, and then he'll be all on whatever you want. I was like, yeah, you know, if we just told him how great he was, oh my God, you're so great, and then flip that into abortion, all of a sudden he'd be for abortion if everybody was blowing smoke up his butt, and that's what he needed to get that adoration, right? So that's what was in the chat and stuff. But yeah, but I like I said, I posted on Facebook, and they're really coming after the Greens pretty hard.
Well, the Democrats are on the warpath. I mean, that's something that we did talk a little bit about, not enough, in my judgment. But
I'm pretty sure Doors agree.
What?
Jimmy, the other TYT and all those other secular talks are Democrats, but Jimmy Dore, I'm pretty sure is a registered Green.
I doubt if he is now.
Oh.
I mean, he may have been in the past. And I think that goes back to this question of lesser evilism has really, you know, made our lives much more difficult.
Anything else on the national meeting? Seeing none. KPFA elections report back. As of today, they extended it to the 24th, but as of right now, Don and myself and James, most of our Green candidates have enough nominations to get on the ballot. There's a few, two at least, that are on the same slate that have enough nominations, but they haven't filled out the statements and paperwork that on their site that they need to do to get that. So I was really impressed to see that a lot of I got more nominations from nominators than candidates, and they're people I don't know. And it was before I even got the endorsement. If I haven't even heard if I got the endorsement from the Rescue KPFA, say whichever.
Rescue Pacifica.
Rescue Pacifica. Thank you. There's so many labels. I don't even. I'm with Phoebe. I'm like I will most likely vote with you all the way, but I'm not taking no pledge to just blindly follow you.
Right.
I'm way too much of a top for that. And so, but yeah, so I was really happy to say that. I hope I still do get their endorsement. It was nice. I personally have also been reaching out. I see you, Greg, to LGBTQ plus groups in San Jose, because at that meeting, the first, not the second one, but the first one when I was actually interviewed, I can't remember who said it, but said that actually a lot of KPFA does have an audience in San Jose, and we should be targeting Santa Clara County as well for endorsements and also for votes and things too. So I've been reaching out to that area as well. And Greg, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, two things. One quickly on San Jose. One of the active Greens in the Santa Clara County Greens, Christine Pepin, is already on the KPFA local station board. So I'm sure that she'll help with some of the outreach in the greater San Jose area. The other thing is, you are endorsed by Rescue Pacifica. I'm on the Rescue Pacifica committee, and after the interviews, basically the interviews were like the very last step, and unless somebody flunked, but nobody flunked the interview, then everybody's in. So everybody that was at that interview is in, and I think there are now 10. I think there's 10 official members, including, of course, Vicente and Don and James, and actually Daniel Borgstrom's a Green, and there might be one or two other Greens. Phoebe got in there too late, so she didn't make any of the interviews, and but Phoebe has enough signatures, so she's going to be on the ballot. And you know, the Green Party's already endorsed her. So I think it'll still work out. And it's going to be very hotly contested because the other side is really going crazy. As many people know, in order to have won that bylaws election, they needed to get a majority of the listeners and a majority of the staff. And this time, unlike last time, a majority of the listeners did vote to approve the bylaws, mainly because they sent out 80,000 postcards. It cost them probably $50,000 to do that. And so just like the corporate Democrats and Republicans, they're spending tons of money to buy the elections, but they were not able to convince the staff. So the majority of staff voted down their bylaws. And so now they're trying to make a big to-do about it, about how, oh, the majority of people that voted in the election voted for our bylaws, so we should still win. And anyway,
We should change the rules so that we can win.
exactly, yeah.
Well, I mentioned in the Facebook discussion on one of the groups, in the discussion group about this, the debate that was going on, I was like, if you wanted to do that, the only way I would support it with my anarchist ass, prove to me that all those people that voted for it didn't just get the nice glossy and just agree with it. They didn't fucking read it. They didn't read the bylaw. I'm like, if you convince me, show me they read it, let's have a thing too, then, but yeah, I knew that was a lie. But I was, surprised. Oh, I know what I wanted. Who the hell funded 50 grand?
Well,
Where are they getting their money?
have some big donors. We don't know exactly which one donated how much.
That seems a little shady. I want to know.
It's not like the governmental elections where you have the FPPC, the Fair Political Practices Commission. I mean, where you're required, if you give a donation $100 or more, you're required to fill out its public record. You can go look up on public record, but unfortunately, the requirements for nonprofits don't require those same campaign financing reports. So, we're not exactly sure which wealthy individuals, but for a long time, they've been pursuing individual wealthy donors. They don't want to have a large grassroots network of small donors. They'd rather have a few large donors to fund the whole thing. And it's elitism, and they're elitists. So that's what they're doing.
And then you'll have beholden to these 5 or 6 wealthy people. Yeah, I knew that from way back. I still think they do need to redo the bylaws. I think there's too many people. That's why they're all arguing with each other. But the bylaws that they had were just trying to, again, take away control from the people. They need a program committee. And also, like, again, what I put on, again, I always do that. That's like my is again. On my candidate page, I said, as much as I want to put in like real work, I was like, I think the biggest thing I'm going to have, I feel like is on me and what I can bring and really benefit is nonviolent communication under the threat of, really, you're going to shut the fuck up. You're not going to call her a bitch in front of me, right? Orlando does that too when we're in these things. He's one of the first ones too to be like, hey, that's not, we don't talk like that here. And I think that would be a huge step, not even a baby step, into getting something really done. But it's no doubt that they have been on, it seems like the elected people on KPFA boards has been going towards that route of looking for just a few wealthy donors by getting rid of more radical programming, and shit like that too, with some things that were actually providing real community services, like Sideshow Radio, right? That really promoted not drinking and driving. They also tried to get like, oh, we got all that army base, we should just like pave a big space over like they do in other parts of the planet and give them a space, a safe space to do tricks. And you can do more than donuts. That's one thing I was doing, like, oh, all you're doing is donuts? That's, what the fuck is that, right? I want to see a real trick. Yes, Greg.
Yeah, kind of along those lines. I don't know if you were at the KPFA local station board yesterday. but they had a public comment period, and there were at least 3, maybe 4 activists from the Houston, Texas station that got on. They were all Latinos, and there might have been one black person or combination black Latino. Anyway, and they were expressing that just recently, the Pacifica station in Houston canceled all the black and Latino programs. And, and so they were trying to get support from KPFA to get the KPFA local station board to support reinstating those programs and telling Houston what idiots they are. And so, but that's the stuff that these corporatizers are trying to do, getting rid of all the radical programs, all the programs of people to appeal to people of color, and they're just going to turn it into Joe Biden white liberals. That's all they're going to do.
NPR,
So, we got a
NPR.
big fight. We got a big fight here.
Yes, NPR indeed. I did not know for the longest time that WBAI was part of Pacifica and a nonprofit. So that shows you how I thought it was a corporate radio station. So when I was young, WBAI was like the hip hop station. Like it was huge, like beat out all the commercial stations. That's why I thought it was murdered. Like, oh my God, there must be advertisers on it. But now you go there and they give Chuck D, who is the frontman for Public Enemy, right? One of the, probably for their generation, Run DMC of hip hop groups. He gets 1 hour on one day a week on the weekend at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, where he's a prime time donor draw for sure, right? But yeah, but he's like also not establishment, right? And probably if they could, they'd throw him off. But there'd probably be a riot at the station. They did that shit. But yeah, I was like, because I reached out to my brother. I was like, hey man, wasn't WBII? Wasn't that like the hardcore? He's like, oh man, back in the day, heck yeah. Uncle David, one of my uncles was in the music biz. He's like, yeah, he had tons of music on there and just loved it. We should just do it all the time. I'm like, I thought so. So we have, they said, have a fight. Hopefully we'll get elected. Oh, and then last thing, at least for me, I think, and I'm going to have to do it myself, but I shouldn't because there is an ethics thing. I think we should have a debate. I think the Green Party should have a debate. We should, because I want to get them in front of a fucking camera, excuse me, gassy boy, in front of a camera and with a moderator and discuss all this bullshit when they're talking about our camps or everything for a bunch of people that I've never seen at any of our events. They're all public, never seen you, county or city, otherwise. But you want to talk about how much you know what we're doing. Yes, Michael.
Well, I want to say something about some of our opposition. The name Sherry Gendelman should ring a bell. She has something to do with KPFA. I'm not exactly sure what. She may be on the listener station board or something else. But she is one of the people who led the attacks during the last election on our party. The intellectual attacks on our party. And I was reminded of her because we contribute to the Middle East Children's Alliance, and she's on the board of the Middle East Children's Alliance. So the name rang a bell, and then I realized who she was, and I was reminded of this, what she has done in the past. At the time last year, I guess it wasn't last year, it was earlier this year, that there was so many attacks, intellectual attacks on the party. And she was, this thing about we're conspiring with Workers' World to take over KPFA and blah, blah, just all sort of kinds of stuff. And she was involved in that. So people should be aware of that. Over.
Okay, anything else on the KPFA elections? Not seeing any virtual town halls. I should have brought that up. No, that's the agenda. So I added and changed one of the names. No, I gotta go back into documents. Sorry, 30 seconds. There we go. And, oh, I know why. Because we're here. So let's just go ahead. Sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and whoops. Screen. There we go. Go away. So here's the list. Let me know if you need it larger. But I can say while you're looking at it, the February one may turn into a Aiden fundraising event that's bringing awareness more towards People's Park and the demolition of the other complex there.
Oh, yes.
So that may turn into that. Aiden's obviously involved in People's Park, but he feels that that other housing that's already housing people is a bigger issue. So it may turn into an event for that.
Yeah. Can I say a word about Berkeley, the People's Park?
Yes, please.
I just want people to take notice of the court decision that the city of Berkeley that was suing the university over the space issues has withdrawn for $93 million. This, I think it's really a scandal that the city government of Berkeley can be bought for $93 million. And it makes it more, it puts People's Park in more danger than it has been. And I think that I'm sure that Aiden would like to have some time one way or another to talk about that.
Right. No, for sure. Definitely. Okay.
Oh, one other thing. There's a typo on October, which I just noticed.
Okay.
The word left out, those in the second sentence.
Is this, oh.
I assume it was a war or something, or, well, I don't know.
Oh, no, it's actually I should use quotations. It's sort of like from Jurassic Park. You
Oh.
spent so much time asking if you could do it, you never stopped to ask if you should.
Right.
So,
Well, okay.
try this.
You can fix that up.
Yep, we can. But should we? Situation.
On February, Bill.
Is this A? Would it be this and? No, this A. Is this a we can but should we situation?
I think, am I wrong, or
What I don't know what you're talking.
how does the city, Berkeley, needs another E, I think.
Oh yeah, it's misspelled.
Which one?
Berkeley is misspelled in the February thing.
Ekley, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
After the K.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Dale
Yeah,
is
that's better.
yeah, that's it.
Whoops. Hey, go away. Okay. Anything else on this one?
Yeah,
Oh,
One
sorry.
more.
Yes, Greg. Yep.
April. It's not echo. It take out the H and echo.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I suppose there could be an echo socialism, but
No doubt about it.
Everybody
yeah,
has.
I think it was the Socialist Workers Party. The Socialist Workers Party is an echo.
Is
socialism.
that? Oh my goodness, nice.
An echo from many years gone by.
Yes, from oh, anything else we're noticing?
No.
I was going to say that September of next year, I was gonna say that there was gonna be a chance that we wouldn't have to worry about that, but the way that this Delta virus is going, it looks like, yeah, it looks like we're still gonna be there next
Oh, yeah.
year.
Oh, yes. I was saying, I put it up again. I was like, man, I hate being Mary Poppins and being right all the time. Because I said that I was like, I'm not, because people have been asking me to go to karaoke again. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not comfortable. I'm still not ready for that. I'm like, I am going out to restaurants like in midday with no crowds and stuff. But yeah, and doing outdoor events. But
we went out to dinner last night.
Right. Yeah, but I'm not ready to go to a bar, people drinking and not caring. I mean, yeah, not feeling safe yet. And it is true already. If you go to John Hopkins site, nationally, cases are starting to spike again. The Delta variant is taking.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But that's because fucking we can't get people to vaccinate.
I know.
And then even here in this, I have coworkers that are traveling to states and areas where they're not vaccinated, and they're walking around still. I'm like, yeah, and then you're bringing that back to us. I was like, no. I'm like, that's why we're going to be screwed. Yeah, I don't see it. And all I can hope is that when it happens, they just bite the goddamn bullet, pay everybody to stay home, don't even put the burden on the employers, like pay that person so he can pay his mortgage or rent on his restaurant or whatever, but don't pay the employee. We're going to pay the employees tax dollars, fund it, make everybody stay home. And also, this is going to sound crazy from my anarchist ass, fucking catch you out at a party, get a fucking ticket, and you don't get your goddamn money. Then fucking,
Right.
all fucking, well, you can join all those people on Tent City that you said were just lazy and didn't pull up themselves by their bootstraps, and you can just put your tent right next to them. Motherfucker. Oh, you're a doctor too? Awesome, because they need health care in those 10 cities. So put your ass looking like, what was the doctor that did John Wilkes Booth and ended up becoming famous for helping the dry tortugas? Mud.
Dr. Mudd.
Dr. Mudd, right? You could be the modern day Dr. Mudd, motherfucker, since you wanted to go out and you got to have your latte. Motherfuckers. Oh, anyway, anything else on the verge? Oh, Dale, yes.
Oh, I just wanted to add, maybe for the September town hall, maybe the real question here is really to compare this situation that we have today, where I believe it's 48% of the population in this country is refusing to get vaccinated.
Is it that high?
I
No,
believe
it's not that much.
I don't think it's that high, because I think he got 70%. He didn't get 75, but I think it was like 70% of the country, adults anyway, have at least one shot.
Right.
Oh, I thought
4th of July.
51% of adults had got the full shots or something like that.
I am 90% sure that the answer is 70%, because I do keep up on it, watching, and also because Biden wanted 75%, and he didn't.
Well, to finish what I was going to say, I think the issue to me sometimes is to put it into historical context. I mean, can you imagine going back to what I lived through the early 1950s,
Yeah.
Me
when
too.
the polio
yeah.
vaccine
Yeah.
came out,
Mhm,
everyone wanted it.
mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
No one made any of these nonsensical, stupid, idiotic arguments against it. What has changed? How did we
My mother said that
get to
today.
this point?
No, that's definitely what we should talk about. And also, I want to take it into a deeper dive into. It's not rather so even the 4th of 1,000% of people that get vaccinated and then not COVID, but just vaccines in general, and then develop autism or whatever. So that argument to me is, well, maybe we're just giving too many because it's like the first one is like a 9 vaccine cocktail that they give to an infant whose body has not finished developing. And in fact, I remember, because I also got the vaccine for polio, and talking to my mom today, she said that too. She goes, oh, a lot of the people too, is because they never lived through the polio fucking crisis and shit. That's why. That I got that vaccine, like even measles and mumps. I mean, I can remember those vaccines. So I wasn't an infant.
Right.
And I think that also ties into, well, then we also give paid family leave so they can stay home with their kid. You don't have to send them to daycare in that germ factory, right? So young, and there's ways to do that. So I think that's also the conversation we have. So I think all of that, like you were saying, Dale, yes, is going to be part of the conversation. All these are conversations. And I know we'll get people on both sides because I'm sure Samsara will show up to that one. Probably Tina. I'll get my cousin Cynthia, who's a holistic and also anti-vaccinations and stuff too. And so we can have this information. And I will, just like with these ones, I will link both sides YouTube videos and documentation to put in the promotions, and then the pre-show we can show them on those ones too.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else on the 2022 virtual series? And I remember we're going to be doing them afternoons and kind of stealing from Suds where it'll be like afternoons. If we do end up not getting a lot of people to the virtual ones, and we still want to, get rid of the business Zoom account and then go do these in person, I would do just like Suds too. I love the Starry Plows. Like, I think we would pick it, and just do it that way as well. And it gives them business, and their food was good. I haven't been there in quite some time, but
I'm not sure that it's open.
It's not open yet, but they're still holding on.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because at our last Suds and Socialism meeting, I was assigned to call to see if and when they were going to open.
Right.
And the phone number that was online is not in service.
Correct. It has all the information on their website saying that they're not open yet, but they're still holding strong and hoping that we come out of it. But you know what? If we don't get them vaccinated by next fall and we actually have to do another quarantine, I bet that would kill them. Right? That would put a lot of other places out of business, sadly. Here, I can stop sharing this. But even if we had to just go to It's Your Move, it can also be just as good as well.
Right.
And we need to go back to that. There we go. And that was virtual town halls. We have not done the outreach and tabling yet, mostly because I am still back to work. And then the weather, while everyone else is boiling, right? We've been in the evenings, been in the 50s and shit. I love it. I'm not complaining, Mother Nature. I'm not. I'm not bitching. I'm not complaining at all. My family in Arizona, where it's 130, 140. So I'm like, what are you doing living there? Who the hell? Armadillos. That's it. What the fuck are you doing? So that's really what we do. I'm still going to virtual meetings all around the country. I'm doing outreach that way. And they like to hear about what we're doing at our events. We get a lot of positive feedback from that. Does anyone have any? Oh, Dale, yes, please.
Yes, when we do resume tabling in Oakland, for example, and if we're not handing out the voter registration sheet to send in to the Secretary of State, if we're not doing that, what are we handing out? What literature do we have to hand out, and where is it?
It's in, I have it on my computer. I think I have some still at my storage. I don't know where the actual table and blue bin and stuff is. But I mean, we can print it out. But also, really, how I was looking at it, again, because doing the monologue, I just wanted to film it and have it content to put up virtually. I know that people hear my voice because I have a very loud projecting voice. I got a big mouth anyway. But really, it was more not about editing literature. It was about getting the video, excuse me, gassy man, content to put onto our social media, where young people mostly get their shit from, especially our Instagram. If I have links I can put to literature on their Instagram, that's really, really good for us, because our Instagram, the Oakland Greens Instagram page, is pretty popular.
I understand that. But what about giving somebody something that's tangible that they can put in
Yeah, we have those. Yep, we got those.
Like this.
Pam Spivak was calling me. She wanted to go out and do something, and she was looking around for stuff to do. So I'm I think what the next time I talk to Pam, I'll refer her to you, Vicente.
Yeah, no, she's already on Dale and I's list. Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as we go
Good.
out, she's on it and going to video. Yes, Orlando.
What I've been doing is everyone who's been having iPhones, I've been airdropping them Oakland Greens information that I had, like the little pamphlets that I had. I just airdrop them, or if I'm in a good area, I tell someone, give me your email, and I do an email blast real quick or a text message blast. I also work for the county. You know, we do all the COVID projects, and I came up with a QR scan code. So we've been using QR scan codes to translate information and files. So I would like to translate that to the Oakland Greens also.
I do have a QR maker, and that is something else to say too, because yes, Orlando Instagram is also very, very popular, and he always shares every time I post anything. We share back and forth to each other quite frequently.
Well,
yeah,
great.
that was good. Yeah, so we're still very, very virtual. Yeah. Any other questions, comments for outreach tabling? No. All right, next one is Treasury, which actually we do have. So the first one that it's not in any priority order, but so I rent a storage space that I usually pay for myself. As I said, I'm just starting to get back to work, and July was a little tight. And even though I paid it, I have no other money and stuff for food. I'm asking that the Oakland Greens just for this month, or I guess would be next month now, cover the 1 month expense. And how justify is that really all it's holding is the projection equipment, the screen, and all the things we use for virtual movie night. The thing that belongs to me, which you could still translate to Oakland Greens, is my vegetable oil containers for my vegetable oil car, which I transport all that stuff back and forth with. So that is my first one, is request $115 for that. If there's any questions or thoughts, any objections?
None at all.
None.
How much?
Okay. So
One
is that it?
How
15.
much? Yes, but how much do we have in the treasury?
Oh,
here?
$1,745.
Okay.
No problem.
1,745. And then we tabled the next one because you were on the phone. I hope your kid was okay. I guess you didn't get to talk to him, Michael, but
Oh, yes. We had a very nice Father's Day chat.
That's a month ago.
Yeah, but then I'll just say one other thing about my son. He's gotten a 2-year NASA grant, and it's serious work. He's been asked to ascertain the correct relationship of the different forces in the universe. As you know, since the 90s, they figured out that the universe was flying further and further apart. And the only issue here is how fast is this going? And so he's got his grant is going to be to look at methodology and data and try and figure out how fast this phenomenon is occurring. What's the speed of the universe flying apart? So.
Nice. So when the actual real global warming and the floods come, like in 2012, we know that we can sneak on with your son, right? We can meet my dog, sneak on. And so, so the one we tabled was that in September or late August, do $180 for the SF Bayview ad for the Tracy event in October, which no one has actually gotten tickets for yet. They probably just don't like it so far ahead, but they're going to regret it because all of the more discounted tickets are all at the beginning. You need to do it now before it gets too late. But yes, it's $180 for it's a month long on their website, and then it also comes out in their printed document. It is a 4x6 postcard type width, and it would be one of the promos that we already approved through Tracy, just giving the website and everything if everything is okay with that. Any objections?
No,
No.
I think they're a good. That's a good audience for us.
Yes, I think it will be too. I really do. That's good. And I gave you the amount of what we have. Fictitious business name report back. I am going to strangle the county. I can't take it anymore. They are really not understanding that our business name is just tied because of, again, like Grace said, we have an FPPC, right? And stuff that we want to do. We want to make sure that we're all legal and counting it. But they think that somehow that I am an individual business just called Oakland Greens. I kept telling them that it's a political organization. They didn't like it. So what I've done is I'm going to go back tomorrow. I've printed out every version of the fictitious business name that could possibly, they're like, oh, that one just needed this. Oh, really? That's good, because I got another page that I did it just like that. And go down and see if we can finally get this going together. It doesn't really hurt us. We're not, we're not that cabal that makes all that money and operating camps and shit. So it's not so much of a big deal, but it's just a hassle working with them. But they are back open, so it's good that you can go in. And I will have more on that, of course, next month in emails if I actually get it going. Because once, if we does get approved, I also have to publish it inside of a paper, which will be the East Bay Express. SF Bayview doesn't do business announcements. Next, social media. So if you want, I can pull up right now and tell you, nope, off the top of my head. Our Facebook page now gets about 260, views a week, gets about 40 engagements a week. And engagements, though, just means like sharing. I did get our first couple of comments and debates going on, but how that actually linked back to our Facebook page is something I said on Washington State's Facebook's page, and then that pulled them over to ours. So, but people are looking at it. It has gone up every week since February. It's up all the time. And yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. Our social media is good, which is back right into it. Does anyone have any questions specifically on our Facebook page? No. The website, oh, yeah, Greg? Yes.
Okay, so you said it was whatever was 250 a week or something like that. And how does that compare to what it used to be like back in February or something?
So they only do month to month. So it's been exponentially growing every month. This month was a 456% jump. And they've been in the hundreds since, when was it? It was like 3 or 4 months ago. I'm trying to remember what it was, from some event that I went to and promoted, and then that came up too. I don't remember exactly which event it was, but over like 3 or 4 months ago, it started jumping like 102%, 240, 300.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, great. So it's
it's
way more than what you
way more. And some of that may also be because the Instagram, like our Instagram page took off pretty quickly for the time I did it. And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with, again, where I engage with Green parties around the world. So especially in England, where like this green wave has taken over all these counties in Great Britain. And so I talk with them and I engage and then that brings them to ours. And I think that fuels that traffic, as it were, funnels that traffic. Did you have your hand up too, Michael?
I did. I guess my question is, I mean, we get people to look, that's good. What about, do we ever get people who are interested in becoming more actively involved with us? Or is that the wrong media?
No, it's not. They haven't through there, and then I see Orlando. They haven't through Facebook, but Instagram definitely has gotten people to go to the Eventbrite page. So as of 2 months ago, we didn't have anything for Linguistics Town Hall. Now we have 9 on top of us.
Very good.
Yeah. The month after that actually was already up to 11 months ago, because that is not actually the Green Party. That's more the consensual non-monogamy community. So everyone there is a large draw for people of the African diaspora that are in that lifestyle and consider themselves consensually non-monogamous to talk about racism and how there's still the pyramid and things like that too. Same thing with Sesta Fosta. So yeah, so they have, I don't know if they've, this is something else I think I need to do on the recordings, the events, and people can try to keep reminding me on that too, is when we do our announcements, part of the thing we're trying to do is hopefully we get you to register green and just start inside of the beginning announcement before the conversation, push that we want your donations. Like, even though these are free events, when we do them in person, it does cost a little bit of money, and none of us are wealthy enough. Like, we pool our money together and what have you, but just making those statements and at the beginning and trying to get more that way. So it is the medium for it. Orlando, you had your hand up?
Yeah. I was gonna say, a lot of folks that I know, they are looking, they're paying attention to our Green Party page. It's a lot of Democrats that I do know. I know a lot of them is using our platforms and strategy. And I know once, because the election is going on, they got a lot of candidates getting ready to run. But I believe we make a major impact silently, but outwardly, a lot of people is paying attention.
Good.
So I did Instagram, Facebook, webpage. Webpage did a jump by 120%. That, again, that sounds really good, but we really, until recently, weren't getting a lot of traffic on the webpage. But I'm actually trying to steer that specifically to get them to go to the web pages, especially because we have all the links and stuff on it now too. We had the counterpunch articles for the bylaws and things were on the splash page and all those different things, which I'll be removing. And I did, while we were even just sitting here, put up the movie series picture that I thought I did already. That's it. Email report back. We haven't lost any over the last 2 months. And if you remember the ones that we were losing, when I had actually contacted 3, they all knew it's because they moved out of state, which I guess is a thing now. People are actually leaving.
Right, people are leaving town, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that one. I did the website, Facebook. I did all of that. Any other questions on social media? Look at that. And then we are at the end. Any announcements?
Oh, yes. I have a Suds and Socialism announcement. I'll just give a short 1-minute thing. Basically, Suds and Socialism has decided to be silent until September. The next one will be on September 11th. It will not be the first Saturday because of Labor Day weekend. So we've moved it to the second Saturday at 2:30, and it will be virtual because we're still not clear. We may, if and when Starry Plow reopens, we may do a dual thing, that is have a virtual thing for people, but also have something in person that people can come to. We're talking about that, but the topic for September is a one which is very similar to the format is similar to what we do. That is, it's going to be an open discussion, no stars, on what is socialism and how do we get it.
Oh, nice. And they're not going to do a 9/11 one though. That's
well,
cool.
there may be one star. I've been asked to approach Howie Hawkins, and I will do that.
Right.
But that's.
I wish you would have got back to me, because I sure would have loved to have them on and get their take on it, like Jill did and David Cobb when they were accusing them of laundering money. Which all that shit too. When I even first heard that, like I just didn't. I mean, I voted for Howie, but was not a fan. I actually was on another bandwagon, but mostly because it has been my thing, even when we went to Jill, is that I thought we should have even went radical. Like, even after the 2008, we should have just approached Rosa and said, let's make you president, and let's actually put some real energy behind you and get your people, all your young people, all those people that you that follow you and come to your events and on stuff too. And let's get you
Well-
stuff and get you elected. And should have went a little more radical. And Howie coming in too, it just sounds, it's that country voice, man. I'm telling you.
Let me just say, going back to the annual national meeting again, the Presidential Search Committee is gearing up again for 2024, is it? Yes. I mean, so if you talk to Rosa and she wants to be a candidate, she should contact the Presidential Search Committee and let them know that that's the case.
Actually, Rosa's thinking, if you actually remember in the event we did with Rosa, they're talking about state government in New York,
In New York.
because they're in Albany now. in New York.
Oh, okay. She lives in Albany?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, they could use her in Albany as well, and New York as
I
well.
like that. But what I will do is I will, who would you recommend?
Yeah.
Because we are in contact, social media, and I get
Well-
to watch her events and stuff.
One of the things that was that on today's agenda at the annual national meeting was a report back from the Presidential Search Committee, mostly in the past, but beginning tentatively to talk about the future as well.
I wonder Chuck D would be a good candidate. I'll have to get in on that one too. I only announcements to the 7 people that watch this on our YouTube channel. Remember the last Sunday of the month, we are still doing our 2021 virtual town hall series. This one was on linguistics, gender, ethnicity, and we will actually just deep dive as well into what we say and how we say it. And it's always a good popular topic. It is one of our signature topics, one of our annual topics that we cover in our virtual town halls. So if you would like to join us, you can always go to oaklandgreens.org or the Eventbrite page, Oakland Greens. And with that, any other announcements? And as I said, it was a small agenda today. I move that we adjourn. All right, everybody.
Thanks for organizing.
Yeah, my pleasure. Glad I still have the energy for it. And I will talk everyone soon and see you at the, actually, I don't think it's next, I think it's the one after is the last Sunday.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, all.
Oh, no.